It is my privilege and pleasure to respond to this very relevant and important panel on maths education reforms post-2020 conversations towards building back better. I'm going to be sharing some reflections from the ICME study 24 on school mathematics curriculum reforms around the world, which has already been introduced by Yoshi. So in this presentation, I want to start by maybe questioning whether we really will be able to build back better, perhaps, maybe, but we would definitely be building back differently. I do think that historically, we will speak of a time before 2020 and post 2020 as a profound period that will likely have significantly altered how we think about and do maths education. So in this presentation, there are three aspects I would like to speak to, which arise from the study and have relevance to the points raised by the panelists. The first is on technology, an obvious choice, and I want to expand on the point that Yoshi has already made, in that the study, although conceptualized before 2020, already recognized the importance of technology in curriculum reforms. And as Melanie has pointed out, the shift to remote and multimodal learning is now accelerated. And this acceleration, I think, is a double-edged benefit. On the one hand, the provision of technology in the form of laptops and other devices has increased, perhaps unprecedentedly. In South Africa, for example, these have been made available to learners across backgrounds, while structural inequalities in connectivity and conditions for learning have deepened. And I think this is a very relevant point to what Marcelo has been talking about, in that it will create a different divide for the kind of learning that different learners are likely to access. Related to technology is curriculum reforms in new content, in particular shifts towards including computational thinking or algorithmic thinking, which are likely to be accelerated. So we've observed this reform across countries now as new reforms are implemented, being introduced even at the primary level. That's likely to be accelerated. And with this shift, there's also likely a much more significant swing towards applications in mathematics, which have been observed, and we will see more of those shifts going forward. The point then about who and what drives mathematics curriculum reforms is quite a key one in respect of the agents of curriculum reforms. And here, related to this point, is the recognition of different literacies and competences that are needed. The point Ava was making about dealing with black boxes, which, for example, is evident in how COVID-related data is made available to the general public. Has increased a focus on the kinds of literacies needed to understand those changes. And with that, we have seen this focus on literacies emerging from international studies like PISA and TIMSS. And with these international studies has been a huge movement in importing or exporting maths curricula across countries. and the role of the media and politics in how mathematics curriculum reforms happen. So certainly as we go forward, the uncertainty and the difficulty of predicting the future for maths education reforms and through maths education reforms will be a challenge. And finally, a comment that has come out as a strong point in the research in the study around the deficit in research on maths curriculum reforms. Jeremy Kilpatrick quote that while we have an enormous amount of curriculum development, we do not have the same amount of curriculum development research is particularly relevant here. And the point is that although we have a lot of maths educators or a number of maths educators participating in or leading maths curriculum reforms, that has not necessarily translated into in-depth scholarly publications on macro level initiatives. And the need for theoretical developments as well as research methodologies has been identified in the study, as well as the difficulties of undertaking such studies. So the point that both that Danny were making and Ravi were making really open for a discussion that if we really want to influence maths curriculum reforms, then we do need to find ways to participate much more deeply and shape maths education reform efforts, as well as study them, both as insiders and outsiders. Thank you.